Yo, what's going on, guys? It's the Anime Wolfie back with another video. I know it's been a long time since I uploaded last. Another one of the cartoon creepypastas. That because I was out for a couple days, but now I'm back with a cartoon creepypasta called Teletubbies Anger Management. If you guys think you might like this episode, let me know in the comments below. Also, let me know what you guys want to see in my next video. I'll be sure to do that for you guys. With that being said, let's get into the video. You may remember the original Teletubbies that used to air on most kids' channels around 1997 to 2001. That show caused a lot of popularity, and it even had a reboot from 2015. And now on, the new episodes and characters such as Teletubbies babies. But let's get to the topic of how I saw the minted episode of the original Teletubbies. I used to be a big fan of Teletubbies when I was little. The show was all colorful and weird, but not as scary as the one episode that had the lion and the bear magical event. It was a sunny day, and I was in the backyard using a metal detector to find something interesting buried in the soil. As the detector beeped on a random location, I dug it up with a spade, and my eyes caught the Teletubbies VHS tape with its casing. I know, pretty generic. Some VHS tape buried in the soil. This unknown Teletubbies VHS I found was called Yoga and Other Stories. The VHS cover consisted of the Teletubbies in an orange background with Tiki Wiki waving close to the cover and the other Teletubbies inches away from him. It even had an old school BBFCU rating and BBC logo from 1997 to now on. On the back of the cover, the episodes were Yoga, Naughty Soap, Apple Pie, and one unheard episode, the strange title called Anger Management. Okay, so it's about how to let out anger. I thought pretty interesting to see it. I rushed toward my room and put it in my VCR. The logos, promos, and the first 3 episodes were normal, but the last episode was shocking and messed up to see. It started with a normal theme song, but the scene where the voice trumpet rises is different. Instead of saying where have the Teletubbies gone, it said this. There's 5 stages of grief: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. Okay then, what is going on? I questioned myself, feeling curious and weirded out. It was out of the ordinary. The voice trumpet that said that. And continually walking down the grassy hill with flowers in a depressed manner. I don't know what's his deal, but I continued forward. Tiki just sat on the grass and began to cry for some unknown reason. It didn't sound anything usual at all. It wasn't in a cartoonish way, but it sounded like if he was actually crying in a feeling of true sorrow probably realistic. The environment around him was almost dark and depressing, as it was a cloudy day. Tinky Winky was very upset today, the narrator concluded. It did only worsen. His cry was more pain, and he was banging one of his fists on the grass in true anger and depression. Listen, this isn't the usual Teletubby normal at all. No other Teletubby came to confront Tinky Winky as this behavior worsens in this scene. Why was he upset? I questioned curiosity. But what did they ever do to him? Later, the windmill began spinning, preparing for a TV event. Tinky Winky stopped crying. In his virtually depressed attitude, he said, "Uh-oh," in his usual normal tone. He ran to where the other Teletubbies are at. Lala was chosen for the TV event. The TV event was oddly cynical and dark for a preschool TV show. It consisted of a depressing little boy watching TV in the living room with his parents realistically and loud arguing in the kitchen for some reason. They were talking about how their marriage became a failure, and then the boy had nothing to do but to harm himself in front of his parents. The boy then ran to the kitchen and screamed so loud that it was known to cause damage to my hearing. I covered my ears as it goes on. As I uncovered after he screamed, I noticed some blood on the palm of my hands. Dang it, I yelled angrily. That scream from the kid got me killed. The boy was throwing a fit of rage, telling his parents to shut up and other things. This kind of action on the kid was out of the ordinary and way too violent. I have heard of that one episode of Caillou where the main character Caillou throws a tantrum wanting to go to the circus right now. The tantrum was not as bad as this one I'm watching. The boy attempted to beat his parents for their behavior, when the mother, however, grabbed the ladder, and he was failing around, screaming, and still threatened his parents. The act was way too real. He was then put in his room, and his mother told him that he will never come out unless his behavior changes. Okay, this episode has something to do with anger management, huh? I thought to myself. Then the TV event ended, and Tubby seemed very worried about what had happened on the TV event. It cut to a second Tubby segment, where the Teletubbies were at their house having Tubby custard. They enjoyed it except for Tinky Winky. He's still not in the mood to drink his Tubby custard. Lala walked to him and asked, "Why Tinky Winky not drinking Tubby custard?" "Tinky Winky not in your mood, Lala," the narrator answered. Then Tinky Winky, in a fit of rage, hit Lala in the head with the Tubby custard, causing it to break and spill all over her. "Why, Tinky Winky?" Dipsy shouted in shock. "Uh-oh," Poe says worryingly. Tinky Winky sad, Tinky Winky mad, Tinky Winky snapped and ran out of the house. From the house, crying realistically. See when that Tinky Winky snapped, the narrator concluded. Lala got up pretty injured and asked why Tinky Winky snapped. I don't know, Lala, the narrator answered. They got out of the house to find Tinky Winky, which turned out unsuccessful. The environment was still dark and depressing. The search goes on, and I'm starting to feel bored. Finally, one Teletubby. Dipsy found Tinky Winky in the forest facing away. Dipsy found Tinky Winky, Dipsy said. Yes, Dipsy found Tinky Winky, the narrator said. Tinky Winky okay? Dipsy said curiously. And they cut to a point of view of him. As Dipsy tapped Tinky Winky, what I saw scared the crap out of me. He had turned to face the ladder. Tinky Winky's face looked unusually horrified. His skin was white as a snowman, and his face resembled that of a demonic inhuman being, with black holes for eyes, and his mouth open like he was screaming, exposing pink gums, white teeth, and black tongue inside. He looked like if he was possessed. I was not ready for the scene to happen. Tinky Winky let out a blood-curdling scream as he looked like that. It wasn't his voice screaming like in the Lion and Bear episode. It sounded like a woman screaming, like in one of those horror movies. I covered my ears again, even though they were still bleeding, but I'm still okay. Dipsy screamed in fright and ran off toward his friends. Then Tinky Winky started chasing Dipsy, still screaming. It cuts to Lala and Po searching for Tinky Winky, but it turns out it's still no good. Dipsy ran into the scene and told the Teletubbies that Tinky Winky was insane and no longer his happy self. Then the now demonic Tinky Winky appeared and runs towards the three Teletubbies. He let out the same blood-curdling scream as before, as just appeared behind the three Tubbies. The Tubbies, except for Po, ran away, screaming realistically. Po was grabbed by Tinky Winky by her leg and dragged her toward a tree. The tree looked similar to Magic Tree from that episode called Lambs, except it wasn't computer generated, but a realistic proportion of it. On that tree, there was a noose that came out of nowhere. Po was flailing around as Tinky Winky used the noose to hang the ladder with it. As she coughed up blood from her mouth, still screaming in pain, Po then died. It cut to Dipsy and Lala running and screaming in fear as the demonic Tinky Winky appeared behind them, letting out that same blood-curdling scream. Lala slipped in the puddle that was there for some strange reason. Then Tinky Winky grabbed Lala by her legs and pinned her to the ground. He then stabs her in the chest with a thick but sharp and pointy stick as as she grunts in agony. Mama then died. It cut to Dipsy running into the house, trying not to be found by the deranged Tinky Winky, who went on a murder spree. He hid behind one of the beds as the demented Tinky Winky runs into the house, letting out that same scream again. Then Nunu appeared behind Tinky Winky, disturbing him. Then he kicked the Nunu so hard that it started to malfunction and ran into the circles like crazy. Tinky Winky found Dipsy hiding behind one of the beds and grabs him, pins to the ladder to the floor, and strongly to the graphically pulls his head off from his body. Dipsy then died. Tinky Winky then pulled up a box of matches and gasoline. Then came out of nowhere. He poured the gasoline everywhere. Left one in the matches up and threw it where he spilled from gasoline left off. Then the entirety of the house catches on fire as Tinky Winky escapes. It cuts to the sun baby. She started crying at the disaster that happened to the Teletubbies. The way the baby cries has seen death in her eyes, and it was all too real to be a spoof, thinking that it was a good idea to make a release into the VHS tape, or even on DVD for that matter. It cuts to a Tubby Bye Bye segment where the voice trumpet rated, instead of saying time for Tubby Bye Bye 3 times, it said this: Tinky Winky is lost. Have lost it now. There's nothing we can do. It cuts to the credits where the Teletubbies house on fire. All the Teletubbies were dead except for Tinky Winky, since he became a demonic entity who killed them all and lurks around Tubbyland. The ending theme, however, played in slow and unnerving post-stretch filter, giving it the nightmarish image, the nightmarish atmosphere. The Sunday was still crying before she sensed while the credits rolled, then the episode ended. After it ended, it showed the Ragdoll and BBC logos, but the former was grayscaled and dark, on what we behind the latter in red dark glow. The file was named as D4-511F2-CB2-7BE1CFC 37DBD.jpeg. When the 1997 BBC clothing logo played, it was solidarized and had an underground filter over it. And even the music had a deep demonic harmony filtered was reverb over it. and then cut to black. I only wanted to see something unusual during the few minutes on the black screen. Unfortunately, it did. I was jump scared by the same demonic Tinky Winky face that was on the same screaming sound. As frightened, I rewound the tape and my mom arrived from shopping. I told her about the best of Teletubbies episode tape with an instant cover I found. I showed her the footage and she believed me. The only evidence was showing you were screenshots of that snuff episode before my mom burned the tape with its casing. I think this episode took place on how it happened from the Slender parody horror game called Teletubbies. In fact, it did. I had nightmares when I was in Tubbyland at night. There were 3 Teletubbies dead, and the house still on fire, and the demonic Tinky Winky was also around here lurking. I was a white individual Teletubby trying to find Boulder Tubby custard laying around until I was caught by a deranged Tinky Winky, letting out that same loud, blood-curdling scream. As he finally killed me, I woke up screaming, waking up my mom for comfort and help. I was taken to therapy after that horrible experience. Who would make such a hyenas stuff episode of one of those shows made for preschoolers and children alike? We don't know, but the question inside my head remains unanswered. Making of the episode was still a mystery. I hope you guys enjoyed that cartoon creepypasta last episode. If you guys like these type of videos, please let me know in the comments below. And if there are any other creepypastas you want me to look up, let me know in the comments below. And thank you guys for watching this video, and I appreciate it. If you have not already, hit that subscribe button, hit the like, and comment on my new recent video. And also be sure to hit that notification bell so that way you'll never ever miss an upload. And I will see you guys in the next video. This is the Anime Wolfie, and peace out.